All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
I said I'm a conversationalist. But what people are upset about is that for some reason people come to me and I don't look at them with judgy eyes. I have no predetermined notion or preconceived notions, and they open up to me.
Right.
That's what they're upset about. Because if you look at a lot of these people that's been on other podcasts, they don't do the views that they do when they come on Club Shay.
Being a celebrity carries a significant toll, and Shannon Sharpe is discovering firsthand the toxicity of the industry. What's astonishing is that Cat Williams foresaw all of this just months ago. Shannon's podcast, Club Shay Shay, has seen a remarkable surge in viewership, particularly following the Cat Williams interview, now the most watched podcast video in YouTube history. Despite Shannon's success, not everyone in the industry is supportive. Recently, Shannon discussed in an interview how numerous celebrities are attempting to sabotage his show and undermine him. These efforts have included threats, and several scheduled guests have abruptly canceled their appearances without providing reasons.
I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along.
We were aware of the industry's toxicity, but Shannon's current situation is escalating it to a new extreme. There are even concerns circulating that Shannon's safety could be at risk due to the intense hostility. In a recent interview, Shannon opened up about the daunting obstacles he's encountered since his Cat Williams interview went viral earlier this year. During a conversation with Cam Newton, Shannon elaborated on why celebrities find his podcast a safe space to share their stories. He mentioned that he always asks his guests before interviews if there are any subjects they prefer not to discuss, aiming to ensure they feel comfortable and can authentically present themselves to the public.
I said, is there anything that you don't want to talk about? I always ask the guests that. Sometimes they say, well, I would appreciate if we not talk about this.
Right.
Cool, no problem. Because I believe you can tell your story without saying something negative. But yes, I believe a person that's been in a business, that's been doing something 10, 15, 20, 30 years, are more than one salacious story.
Right.
That's what I believe. So if they say they want to stay away from it, but if they want to tell something, who am I to say, nah, don't do, you can't tell that?
Shannon further clarified that he does not consider himself a journalist and has never made such a claim. He emphasized that his role is primarily as a host and conversationalist, aiming to create a platform where guests can speak openly and honestly. Shannon expressed his respect for professional journalists and their rigorous standards, noting that his approach to podcasting differs in that it focuses on candid conversations rather than investigative reporting.
You don't do sit-downs, you see what I'm saying?
Kim, I've been trying to line Cat up for a year. I tried to line him up for a year. People don't know this, but Cat doesn't like to fly. I'm getting off the elevator. As I'm getting off the elevator, a lady's getting on.
Right.
She said, hello. I said, hey, how you doing? I'm Shannon Sharpe. She tells me her name. She's like, I've never seen you here before. I said, yeah, my attorney's here, Marvin. She said, oh, I love Marvin. I love Allison, who's his daughter. She said, oh, I said, I've never seen you here. I said, I've been coming here 3-4 years. I've never seen you. She said, oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just not meeting you. She said, today is my last day. I said, what? She said, yeah, today is my last day. I said, you got a new job? She said, I'm leaving to be Cat Williams' tour manager.
Wow.
I say, I've been trying to get Cat for a year. That was a Friday. The next Friday, Cat sitting in that chair.
Look at God.
The next Friday.
For those unfamiliar, Shannon is a highly accomplished retired NFL player, honored with induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2011. Transitioning from football, he joined CBS Sports as a commentator for various shows, including NFL Today, and became a columnist and spokesperson for Fitness RX for Men magazine. In 2016, he co-hosted FS1's sports debate show, Skip and Shannon, Undisputed, showcasing his versatility in sports media. Shannon's foray into podcasting with Club Shay Shay in 2020 wasn't merely a trend-following move. He already had a robust career in media. Alongside Nightcap with Chad Johnson and Gilbert Arenas, Club Shay Shay gained particular renown, especially after viral interviews with figures like Cat Williams and Steve Harvey. His podcast's impact was underscored when Apple Podcasts featured an episode with Bubba Wallace in 2020. Shannon's podcast success in 2024 exceeded expectations, sparked notably by his persistence in securing the elusive Cat Williams as a guest after a year-long pursuit, facilitated by a chance meeting with the comedian's new manager. Shannon aimed to provide a platform on Club Shay Shay where black entertainers could candidly share their stories without fear of judgment, emphasizing his role as a conversationalist over that of a journalist despite his extensive media background.
People heard about it, but when Cat came on and did what he did, now you had no choice. Advertisers, sponsors had to take Club Shay Shay serious.
Right.
People that did, he just this, he's a dumb jock, he talked with a lisp. Well, that dumb jock that talked with a lisp has the #1 podcast on YouTube. Not sports podcast, Cam. #1.
A week later, Cat began revealing industry secrets to Club Shay Shay. Initially, Shannon hadn't anticipated the episode would go viral. At the time, his most viewed episode on YouTube featured Steve Harvey, garnering around 8 million views. However, after filming with Cat, Shannon's producer foresaw a major breakthrough. Shannon speculated that even if the episode surpassed the Steve Harvey interview, it might reach about 10 million views. His estimate fell far short. The Cat Williams episode now boasts nearly 72 million views on YouTube, dramatically altering the podcast's trajectory. Suddenly, potential sponsors were reaching out, more guests wanted to appear on the show, and Club Shay Shay became the premier platform for candid storytelling. Yet, Shannon soon faced backlash from some industry figures who accused him of stirring up drama, particularly within the comedy world, due to the provocative nature of the Cat Williams interview. It's worth noting that Cat Williams didn't hold back during his appearance, sharply criticizing several renowned comedians and exposing industry secrets.
Man, I ain't gonna be able to get nobody back, or I ain't gonna be able to get no more comedians.
They all coming.
No, they ain't.
Are you kidding?
Nah.
Hey, I
A
promise
good thing
you.
I done got all the rest of them. I done got the ones.
I promise you, everybody trying to double back. You're gonna be having to beat them off with a stick. You won't let him. They're coming. Much as.
During his interview, Cat Williams didn't hold back, targeting Cedric the Entertainer for allegedly selling out and plagiarizing jokes since 1998. He also criticized Faison Love and Ricky Smiley, claiming they achieved fame through compromise with industry gatekeepers rather than genuine talent. These revelations sparked significant controversy within the comedy community, highlighting deeper issues of authenticity and integrity in entertainment. Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay, became a lightning rod for discussions on industry ethics and the pressures faced by entertainers striving for success.
He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing?
Cat Williams didn't shy away from criticizing Kevin Hart during his interview, labeling him as unfunny, untalented, and a sellout who perpetuates the industry's gatekeeping. His pointed remarks stirred considerable debate about authenticity and success in comedy, resonating deeply within the entertainment world. Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay, became a focal point for discussions on the challenges and compromises faced by comedians navigating the industry's competitive landscape. Williams' candid commentary underscored broader concerns about the authenticity of fame and the pressures on performers to conform to industry norms.
15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
Shannon's path with Club Shay Shay showcases his resilience and knack for audience connection despite industry hurdles and controversies. He notably confronted Kevin Hart, suggesting he was an industry creation. Kat started by questioning Kevin's account of his East Coast roots, casting doubt on how someone could establish a career there and then suddenly rise to fame in Los Angeles.
At the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we had Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I've never seen Medea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next.
Kat Williams raised doubts about Kevin Hart's rapid rise in the industry, implying that Kevin seemed to emerge suddenly, landing major gigs and TV roles that typically take comedians years to attain. This critique sparked discussions about the nature of success in entertainment and the challenges faced by comedians striving to make their mark. Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay, became a platform for examining these industry dynamics and the pressures on performers to navigate them with authenticity and integrity.
Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
Kat attributed Kevin Hart's rapid success to him being an industry plant and accused Kevin of becoming a gatekeeper who promotes other industry plants like Tiffany Haddish. Their long-standing feud came to a head when Kat criticized Kevin for wearing a dress on screen, arguing it was part of an agenda by industry gatekeepers to emasculate black men. Kat also mentioned that whenever he speaks out, the industry tries to discredit him and portray him as mentally unstable, a pattern now seemingly affecting Shannon Sharpe. When Kat appeared on Shannon's podcast earlier this year, he warned Shannon that using Club Shay Shay as a platform for truth-telling would provoke backlash. Shannon admitted he underestimated the extent of the hostility he's now facing. Guests who were eager to appear are withdrawing. He's receiving criticism for his interviewing style, and efforts to cancel him are underway.
But Kim, I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. And some of the comedians had taken shots at other comedians, but nothing like this. I didn't expect the vitriol to come, especially from some of the people, and I'm not gonna say we were friends, but I'm saying we were cordial, we were friendly towards each other. Some people that I've kind of helped behind the scenes, and to see them attack, oh, I wouldn't have let him do this, I wouldn't have said that.
Consider D.L. Hewley as an example. Despite not being criticized by Kat during the Club Shay Shay interview, D.L. Hewley sharply criticized Kat for his remarks about fellow comedians. This incident underscored the contentious atmosphere within the comedy community and highlighted differing perspectives on industry dynamics. Shannon Sharpe's podcast, Club Shay Shay, has become a platform where such debates unfold, reflecting the complexities and controversies within the entertainment industry.
Cat told every goddamn hour, everything. You told so much, Jada Pinkett went, why you telling so goddamn much? What am I gonna say now? At least nobody had alopecia, so. No shit getting messy as hell. Shannon Sharpe is like Wendy Williams with a weight center.
The reaction is perplexing given that there was no apparent conflict between Shannon and D.L. Hewley. Sources suggest D.L. Hewley may have been dissatisfied by the attention Shannon and Kat received from their interview, prompting him to undermine it. However, he's not the only one with such sentiments. Another individual allegedly attempting to derail Shannon's career is Steve Harvey. Interestingly, Steve had previously appeared on Club Shay Shay, where they discussed various topics, making it a typical interview for the podcast. The episode went viral largely due to Steve Harvey's presence. However, when Kat Williams appeared on Club Shay Shay, his candid critiques led to it becoming the podcast's most viewed and viral episode in YouTube history.
The same Steve that went to go watch Mark Curry do his whole sitcom and then stole everything Mark Curry had. Now Steve got a sitcom where he the principal and he wear a suit and then he gets this high top fade, making all black men think he got the best lineup in the business, and it's a man unit. Then you ask it, why you not a movie star? I didn't want to be a movie star. This the same bro that hated on Bernie with this same thing. I didn't want to be a movie star. No, you couldn't be a movie star. There are 30,000 new scripts in Hollywood every year. Not one of them asks for a country bumpkin black dude that can't talk good over KB and look like Mr. Potato Head. There ain't none. You would have to have a rank.
Steve Harvey was reportedly upset by Kat's remarks during the interview, particularly when Kat disclosed what he claimed to be the real reason Steve ceased doing stand-up comedy. According to Kat, Steve stopped because he embarrassed him by revealing that Steve wears a wig despite portraying himself as bald. These revelations added fuel to the controversy surrounding the interview, sparking further discussion about honesty and authenticity in the entertainment industry.
Told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Cat Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Cat Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in, and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore.
Then, Cat Williams discussed how Steve Harvey allegedly appropriated his own story of overcoming adversity, claiming that Steve falsely presented himself as having been homeless and broke, a narrative that Cat insisted belonged uniquely to him. According to Cat, Steve Harvey never experienced homelessness. Cat also accused Steve of stealing his narrative about struggling financially and living in a car. This wasn't the first instance where Cat publicly criticized Steve Harvey. Previously, Cat had accused Steve of perpetuating damaging stereotypes about black men. For example, Cat claimed that Steve pressured Cedric the Entertainer into wearing a dress, alleging a Hollywood conspiracy to undermine the masculinity of black men. Cat asserted that Steve intentionally hindered Cedric's career by pushing him to do things he was uncomfortable with.
The reason you were supposed to go last is because it was your tour. Tell the truth. It was Steve's tour. Not it was going to be called the Kings of Comedy. It was Steve's tour. These are the guys opening for him. Of course you got to close if it's your tour. That's why it was such a big deal. But you couldn't do it because you can't beat the best. And until you humble yourself, you will forever be kinged by the king. And because you finally did it, because you had no other...
During his Club Shay Shay interview, Cat Williams insinuated that Steve Harvey's rise to success was questionable, suggesting it stemmed from a lack of moral integrity. Cat criticized Steve's comedic abilities, describing him as unfunny and a mediocre performer who unjustifiably crowned himself as the king of comedy. Cat viewed Steve's self-proclaimed title as an affront to the true kings of comedy who preceded him. This wasn't the first occasion where Cat attempted to undermine Steve's reputation. Back in 2009, Cat publicly challenged Steve to defend his title as the king of comedy during a New Year's Eve performance, stirring controversy within the comedy community.
Because you didn't have to accept this. You could have just said, no, I'm not going to do it. You have been the king of comedy as long as we've had one. Matter of fact, the whole phrase, king of comedy, can be attributed to you. And I'm honored that you would allow me to share the same stage as you. I don't know why people made this a championship bout. And I don't know why you was okay with that. And I want to apologize for what's going to happen.
Who is
But the second that you get on stage, the second that you get off stage, I need you to understand that that's your final time as the king of comedy.
To avoid embarrassment, Steve Harvey appeared on Jamie Foxx's satellite radio show to declare his intention not to engage in a petty feud. He emphasized his decision to rise above, stating, "My grandfather used to tell me that dogs don't bark at parked cars. They bark at moving ones. Dogs bark at the moon all the time, but if the moon barks back, the dog becomes famous." Steve's remarks aimed to portray himself as taking the higher road and avoiding unnecessary conflict. By invoking his grandfather's wisdom, he sought to convey a message of maturity and restraint in the face of criticism and controversy. This approach was intended to diffuse tensions and redirect focus away from the contentious exchanges with Cat Williams, highlighting Steve's desire to maintain dignity and professionalism in the public eye. The tension between Cat Williams and Steve Harvey escalated following Cat's provocative statements during his interview on Club Shay Shay. Cat's assertion that Steve couldn't compete with him in a comedy battle was underscored when Steve, feeling targeted, aired his frustrations on his radio show without directly naming Cat or Shannon.